Alright, so I see tutorials of this stuff where they have actual leather or buy leather boots and use fancy stuff, but no, I want to put as little time and effort into this as possible. Anyway, so I started out by putting time and effort into actually designing the pages. To detail it, I just went with the general shapes in black and drew lines and squiggles until it looked good. Then I chose a color palette and started to color it all, going with good old blue to match my non-existent branding. Okay, so after this, I slapped it onto Google Docs, which I used because I think Word is a bit more expensive than, free. Ah! I used tables and set the grid size to 0 to line up all my classes. I really like making my own assignment notebooks because I can actually put my classes in order. Wait, did I mention yet that this is for an assignment notebook? Yeah, I might have procrastinated a bit on this, if you can tell that it's not the start of the school year. But anyways, this looks done enough, so let's print it. Now, I want to add a calendar in the front, and to do that you might think we do it like this, where the pages are next to each other, and one piece would have a month on one side, and the halves of the adjacent months on the other side. But that's too easy. It's actually like this, and one sheet looks like a mess, but this is so that the pages are in groups, called signatures, to sew together. Understand? No? Cool. I used a website and took screenshots of each of the months, then started chucking them into a Google Doc to splice them together, like some sick version of Frankenstein. Just with, calendar months instead of a person. But here it is, knock yourself out. And because the months lined up, it was really hard to show on camera. Never before have I been so annoyed that something actually worked properly. Ignore the mess, it's for a video. So, I was gonna time-lapse me folding all of these, but there's, just a little minor issue, nothing, very annoying or frustrating or, I'm too lazy to fix it. I'm so proud of this. It only took my soul. So now I have to poke a bunch of holes into these things. And I mean, I could, poke them. Or I could do the logical thing and saw them. Look at me go. I'm so great at this. Yep. Also, sawing may seem weird, but it has the same result of poking all the holes and takes a lot less time. Now, this is loosely based off of a traditional bookbinding technique, and the key word here is loosely because I'm going off of memory, and I'm also missing the chair I used as a stand last time, so instead I'm doing the incredibly modern method of binder clips and tape. Alright, the boring part. Actually explaining stuff. In order to sew these pages together, what you do is go along the inside here, where it will quickly duck out, then back in to go around this cord. So to start it off, we just go out, then around, then back through. And now we got a nice loop around this cord with both ends of the string staying on the inside. When you get to the end, instead of looping it out then back in through the same hole, you're going to push it out, loop it around, and then put it back into the hole below. As you add new layers, make sure you make them nice and tight together so they don't get all loose and funky.
In the blaze of your love, the sparks fly over again. In the blaze
time for cover.
In the blaze of your love, the sparks fly over again. In the blaze of your love.
I used 2 layers of cardboard so the cover is nice and sturdy. Because, this is an American school system we're talking about, and I gotta have something to attack people with. Although, really any textbook would be more effective. But still. When doing the cover, loop the extra over and through the holes, then brutally stab at it, I mean rough it up so the glue sticks and there isn't an annoying bump. Okay, so it's late and I have school tomorrow, but I kind of need an assignment notebook, so I figured I'd glue in the months and write in the days so I could actually use it and know what day I'm supposed to be on. And that won't take long, right? So I finished the other half of the month things off camera, and you might notice that for June, I didn't actually bother to print them out. And that's because if school ends up going to June, I'm going to be too depressed to care about it anyways. So next is to work on the design, and here's the one that I'm using. Now, I have a plan for this area around the edges. So, it turns out that this jacket I bought for insanely cheap at a yard sale is real leather. But there is an issue, which is that I haven't actually really done any work, or I don't have any experience or tools for leather. So, just... So here I've got different kinds of glues to test on different parts of leather, and I even have the almighty super glue, which, I'll be honest, I've never actually used before. So hopefully that goes well, or else, I might glue my fingers together or something. While I wait for this to dry, I'm gonna go work on the cardboard. So on the sketch, I just kind of drew a leaf without really thinking about how I'd make it, which brought me here to cutting out really tiny pieces of cardboard. This is why you don't draw something with zero plan on how to make it. Although, surprisingly, it did actually turn out really well. My haphazard improvisation actually worked for once. Alright, we got our test results here. I lied about the painting. Let's just see how these did. I don't think this one did very well. Okay, I think the issue with the super glue is that it sort of absorbed into the cardboard before it actually stuck to the leather, and I probably should run another test, but I'm not going to. I don't have a proper leather needle, so I switch it out for a 9014 and hope that it works. And I mean, everything has got to be at least a bit janky, or else it isn't one of my videos. To sew these nice lines, I use a zigzag stitch with a short length, 0.5 millimeters in this case. And, okay, I get that I'm American and all it's like, woo, guns! But, the metric system, pretty nice. I don't want to be saying 3/128ths of an inch or something like that when I could just say half a millimeter. So then I add these nice little diamond things to the ends of the lines, and to do this I let the needle go in 3 times before increasing the width by a millimeter, and then once I get to the middle, decreasing by a millimeter. I also added these purple curves, which were insanely difficult. I don't want to tell you how much time I spent on this and how many brain cells I lost trying to move it around by hand and to look good.
How long did this take?
Yes.
Ah, gotcha.
Alright then. So it's hard to tell on camera, but this took an ungodly amount of time. But luckily, now it's time for me to actually do something I enjoy, which is to paint all this cardboard stuff. This too. So yeah, let's get into that.
In the blaze of your love, the sparks fly over again. In the blaze of your love, I'm standing on embers again. In the blaze of your love, the sparks fly over again. In the blaze of your love, I'm standing on embers again. I'm chasing highs to escape my lows.
You see, the best part about painting on camera would be the fact that the gloss coat is clear, so you can't see me adding it. I know, incredible. But here's the difference between one that does and doesn't have the gloss coat. Also, I am way too proud of this leaf. I mean, it just looks carved, and even got some lighter and darker blues to bring out the depth. And what? I'm not rambling. Alright, we're finally in the home stretch. It's just time to glue stuff on, and I mean, we can, ignore the fact that I started to glue this on and then remembered that I had to do other stuff, but yeah.
Most of the sound factors are already known. The speed of the tape in recording, its playing time, and the sound level required. A fine-grained deposit of nickel. This makes smooth wall grooves. This takes precisely 2 minutes and 40 seconds. They have to be perfect.
That went better than I expected. Time for that thing where I show it off. End card time! Woo! Okay, so I got this nice sword here, and if you want to see how I made that, you can click on the video. That's I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but click on the video somewhere. Bye.